Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this video. We will talk about the June astrology and we will also get into your zodiac specific behavior throughout this month. I will still be making tarot videos, so if you're interested in a tarot reading, you can access that as I upload it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified whenever the videos are up. On the second of the month itself, we have a really good day. This one should especially feel quite nice for you since you're a fellow water sign. We have Venus in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces, which is a favorable aspect and brings in a lot of joy, satisfaction, and harmony, especially to your areas of belief system, your conditioning in general. There can be some healing that is getting done, and also if you're waiting for some educational news or regarding visas and other documents, maybe an affinity towards a foreign culture or things like that can help you find more like-minded people or more inspiration through these sources. Your imagination is also doing quite good at this time, so is your intuition. So whichever profession you're in or whatever you're interested in life, you're likely to get nice resources and support for that. On the 4th of the month, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. The sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Sagittarius, and that will activate your second house and eighth house. So your financial sectors are coming to the forefront. Perhaps you're questioning how you make money, what you think about money, and also your own sense of self-worth. What do you value in life? Where would you like to focus your energy, time, and focus on? So this can of course be literal financial spending on what you're spending on. Maybe taking a look at that and evaluating if that is your priority anymore. So in a sense, we're also reprioritizing. We're perhaps even changing the way that we perceive ourselves in our immediate surroundings as well. There can be some money conversations or news that comes in because Gemini and Sag talk about the communication spheres. So yes, there can be something of that sort that gives you a sense of clarity or gives you another direction in which to pivot moving forward. The same day we have the Mercury and Uranus conjunction, and that's in Taurus. This is going to activate your 7th house. So something surprising is happening to a partner that you have. It can be a romantic partner or a platonic one. It is important that you have a one-on-one connection with this particular person, and they can be going through some changes. Additionally, you can be changing your views and the priorities that you have regarding partners that you choose or relationship systems you have cultivated for yourself. If there are some things that hold you back, perhaps stepping outside of your comfort zone is not something you do, this particular aspect might force you to do that, or it might give you that necessary incentive or encouragement rather to get you closer to that. For some of you, it can even mean that you're meeting someone in a very surprising manner and you hit it off quite easily, and it's not something that's highly drastic because it's still in the sign of Taurus, so I think it is still going to be a comfortable situation. It's just the initial phase of going and trying something new that could feel uncomfortable. Okay, on the 5th of the month we have Venus moving into Leo, and that activates your career house, and Venus is going to stay here for quite some time. So you are especially going to be changing what you see in the world, what you want to be seen as, what reputation are you wanting to cultivate, what your profession is, what your career direction is. It's likely that you're changing things up, especially if you have a business. The 10th house rules the businesses. It can indicate that you're moving more towards the artistic side or showcasing your creative talents a little bit, or this is something related to children as well you can be trying out. The same day though, as soon as Venus is entering Leo, it is directly opposed by Pluto in Aquarius. So your 4th house and your 10th house topics come to light. How much do you want to keep private and how much do you want to share with the world? Or how much focus do you want to keep with your home and family, and how much do you want to showcase to the general public in general? Okay, so regardless of the topics, and this can even be like the fun side of you, are you showing that to the world? Would you like to show that, or is that something purely for you? These are some questions that can come up. On the 7th, we have Venus in Leo squaring with North Node in Taurus. This one might feel a little bit extra, uncomfortable, because we have to really break open the mold when we have a square going on. On top of that, North Node is not really our forte point. It's not our comfort zone. So we have to kind of try different things to achieve a sense of security. And as a fellow fixed sign, this might not be the most enjoyable transit for you, but regardless, the results that come out of it are going to pleasantly surprise you. It's sort of like you never thought you could be this creative, but now that you see it, you can't unsee it. But while you're still exploring, it might seem like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have enough expertise, or n number of self-doubts could crop up, right, while this transit is going on. But what you find out about yourself is going to be undiscovered creative talents that are wanting to be realized through you. On the 11th, we have Mercury moving into its home sign, Gemini, and it will be trining Pluto in Aquarius. And that is helping out your 8th house and 4th house. So any insecurities, any fears that have built up from your childhood or from your home family and home conditioning, that can go through a healing journey. Or you're finding some information that really helps you understand your ancestry and you find your place of belonging. There can even be some changes that your friends are going through in their families as well, and you find out about it and you're very happy for them, or you're inspired by them. Something amazing comes out of it. And while Mercury is in Gemini, you might feel extra inquisitive and investigative. You want to figure out more about your subconscious mind, or how do mindsets work, and how can you shift your psyche, how can you manifest better. You might be interested in the metaphysical, esoteric type of subjects, because it's in your 8th house. So toxicities, if there have been some toxic patterns that have been ongoing, you're likely to work through those things around this time. The same day, we have Pluto in Aquarius, which is retrograde, and it's retrograding back into Capricorn, where it was since 2008. So we are kind of applying the recent lessons that we have learned while Pluto is in Aquarius into the previous lessons that we learned since 2008 about our power of, for you, it's going to be your communication, your words and intention. How do you think differently? How do you connect with different people, etc., etc. And now that we know all of these new details and new facets about ourselves, our inner selves, how do we change the way we conduct ourselves in our immediate environment? That's going to be the topic here. So a refresher course and then fine-tuning type of situation going on with Pluto moving back into Capricorn. The same day, we have Venus in Leo squaring with Jupiter in Taurus, and this is going to activate your 7th house and your 10th house. So there can be a desire to do many things. Okay, you might feel especially inspired in this time, especially on this day, and you might decide to take on a lot on your plate. Okay, so overindulgence, overdoing it, and overestimation are the shadow qualities of this aspect. On the plus side, if you generally hesitate to do new things or try out different techniques, and this is going to give you that incentive to go and explore. Okay? Still, Jupiter is in Taurus, so it's not going to be too volatile. It's not going to be too spontaneous. You might feel a sense of resistance, but at the same time, the calling is pretty loud and clear. You might be motivated to connect with more worldly people, or ones who value food, farming, agriculture, sustainability. These types of topics might quite interest you. And while you have a different viewpoint, or you've not really thought about it too much, you might be very inclined to learn about these things through other people. So meeting new partnerships or making new friendships under this, based on the astrology, can be good, given if we are applying the lessons that we get here. So Leo being creative and Taurus being the farm or the agriculture thing that we were talking about, just showing a sense of enthusiasm, warmth and generosity can go a really long way in cultivating a friendship. Okay, so very happening day on the 11th, basically. On the 15th, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring with Saturn in Pisces, and this is a mutable sign square, which is not really your wheelhouse. So it might feel extra wishy-washy for you. You're someone who likes to know, but this aspect makes it seem like it's guesswork, like we have to just experiment and see. We have to experience and try some things and then see what happens. So you might be caught between two worlds of the mind and the heart. Is your logic making the most sense, or is your heart and intuition making the most sense? How can we, shift things around, or from based on what we are learning about ourselves, our psyche, and the world in general? How does that change who we are as souls or as our purpose? In your case, Pisces falls in your 5th house. So we talk about how we are expressing our creativity. Does that still make sense? Are we holding ourselves back maybe? 5th house is also about entertainment and dating and romance as well. Are we stuck in old patterns that we are not able to shake things up, or we're not having an open enough mind? Something that has not been worked through is likely to come up here, and we don't know the clear answer yet. We're just gonna have to try different things. We're gonna have to ask a bunch of questions to ourselves and see what comes out of it. On the 17th, though, we have Saturn in Pisces going retrograde, and retrograde Saturn is all about restructuring the conventional ways that we've been dealing with stuff. So the way you have been expressing your creativity, inner child, or connecting to your children, that is going to go through some let's take another look at it type of situation. Let's look at it this way. Does it still make sense here? Maybe there's something that's not quite fitting well in our surroundings, or, in the conditioning that we were taught. We're recalibrating and understanding ourselves more originally around this time. And because Saturn is in Pisces, it's easier to make some changes as long as we have that intuition. Luckily for you, it's in a trine aspect with your sign, so you're going to get some good benefits while Saturn is in retrograde over here, and in general as well while Saturn remains in Pisces. On the 18th, we have a new moon in Gemini, and this one is in your 8th house, and it is squaring with Neptune, which is in Pisces. So a little bit of a tense situation. Not really the worst. It's kind of like the thing we had on 15th with the Mercury square Saturn, but there can be a sense of, again, vagueness. Like there's a potential for a lot of things to go right, but you can't be sure yet. You're still trying things out. Putting in the framework is a little bit tough at this time, but exploring different ideas and trying out different techniques, and just keeping your mind open, talking with different types of people, and just being open to the thought that everything might be up to change. That's the best way to just begin and see what this energy brings. Because honestly, for fixed signs, the mutable sign squares are kind of quite the opposite of what you're used to. We do have a bunch of, fixed sign activations, of course, but the mutable signs are going to be a little bit vague for you this time. On the 19th, we have the Sun in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. The same square gets activated. What fears hold you back? How do you talk to yourself? Is there any sabotage you do for you? The way you're connecting with children, or how you understand your childhood? Is there something that needs to be clarified or, accepted, and so on? There are some deeper topics that are going to come up during these squares. Okay, on the 21st, we have the summer solstice. The sun moves into Cancer, and that's the Cancer season beginning, and that activates your 9th house. So in general, this is going to be a pleasant one for you, because your focus is on your 9th house of divinity, how you connect with your higher self, your guides, mentors, teachers, and how you yourself are a guide or a healer in this world. You might be looking at your future goals. How do you see yourself in 3 years or 5 years? The more long-term goals could be coming up. There can be an increased interest in visiting your home and family, especially if you're living abroad. And also there can be an inclination to learn new foreign languages or connect with people from different backgrounds, but somehow you have a sense of kinship with. Some soul friendships, soulmate unions, and all of that could come up, especially if you're traveling as well. You might meet someone from a different background. On the 25th, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces, and the same square is keeping activated throughout this, the third week and the fourth. But this time it's a little bit different because the sun is changing our focus from the 8th house of investigative psyche type of topics into the more optimistic 9th house, which is like the world is open and we want to expand ourselves a little bit more. We're still protective of our space and our feelings, but we are ready to expand. So we are really, really asking for some answers here. On the 25th, I feel this is going to be the one that illuminates us with new information. Perhaps you read something or you hear someone talk about a concept and that just really clicks with you. Maybe your school of thought is different. For example, if you're more into the Freudian psychology, you might get into Jungian psychology, or vice versa. Some switch or changes happening as a result of your flexibility. That is going to be more eye-opening. On the 26th, we have Mars in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus. One thing I like about this Mars in Leo is that Mars is relatively happier than when it was in Cancer, okay? And Mars is your co-ruler, so it's important that he's feeling happy, okay? And a fiery planet and a fiery sign, yes, it can get a little bit too hot and get egotistical and all of that, but it does give you that fuel to focus and drive forward. I feel like you're going to get a lot done while Mars is in Leo in general. But the square with Uranus and Taurus can be that there are some promises being broken. Nothing too major, I don't think so, but there might be like you have dinner plans and you have, placed your work or you designed your schedule for that day accordingly, but then the person just randomly falls out and you're like, okay, that's a waste of time because I have many other things to be doing. There is a sense of these are the things I would like to be doing. Your willpower is being really, really channeled while Mars is in Leo. But that might be difficult with what Uranus is asking of changing things up, switching things up, trying new things, meeting new people, doing things out of the norm, and so on and so forth. And more than that, it's even squaring with Scorpio here. So there can be a tension regarding you would like to spend some more time by yourself. Maybe you like your privacy and you like that solitude as well, which is very watery, corresponding to you being a water sign. But then Leo is encouraging you to go out there and meet people, and Uranus is like, switch it up, let's meet different types of people and do different kinds of things and all of that. So you're absolutely feeling like you're outside of your comfort zone, but you are the zodiac of transformation, and the sun is really supportive towards the end. Especially Saturn is helping you out throughout the month, so I don't think you're feeling like lonely or anything. And we do have those soul friends coming in here as well, so it's not really a big deal, but of course you're learning a lot about yourself. Okay, on the 27th, we have Mercury moving into Cancer, and that's also your 9th house. So there can be some divine communication, some higher education, some messages you might be wanting to get regarding your applications to college or results from your school. Whatever it is that you're doing, it is likely to come through here. If you're applying for visas, passports, or enrolling for courses and things like that, Mercury in Cancer is quite supportive, and you might get a little bit emotional around this time. It is important when Mercury is in Cancer to take care of your emotional needs. Okay? It's very important because Mercury in Gemini gets like a little bit tired. The mind is in full breeze. It's fully active. So we need to take care of it as well. So while it's in Cancer, it's about resting, recuperating, and doing things, at a steady pace. It's not like trying to achieve a lot of things, but it's not trying to be lazy either. It's always on the go, for sure. It's like a steady on the go. But I like that it is in a fellow water sign that is in a favorable angle for you. So regardless of what happens, this is more your wheelhouse, and I think you will feel more rested towards the 27th. On the 29th, we have another favorable aspect. The sun is in Cancer, trining Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is retrograde right now. So this one is again very nice for restructuring things, breaking down old boundaries, changing the convention to make better sense of where you are now and how the world is around you now, and the reality that you're trying to create as well. On the 30th, we have Neptune in Pisces going retrograde, and over here there can be some type of disillusionment or some reality comes to light. Once again, it's at a favorable angle to you, so I think this is going to be a good one anyway, regardless of what happens. And even if there is some sort of disillusionment, it's not really a big deal. Like, for example, you go to the shop and you ask for smoothie A, which would be your most preferred choice, but then they say that the blender broke or some ingredients are not there, so that's just not possible. But then you go with smoothie number B and it turns out that that's your favorite now. You know, it's sort of like that. Something doesn't work or some things just don't have a way of moving forward, but it's fine because you find something even better. Because the same day we have Mercury in Cancer trining Saturn in Pisces. So there can be some nice communication we get that just puts everything into perspective. There can be some connections we have with foreign lands and things like that. They can give you some support or inspiration. Maybe you get some ideas from someplace else. You observe how other people do certain things and you gather a lot of knowledge and good vibes from them in general. Towards the end, you're feeling a lot more artistic and much more in flow with the universe, okay? So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading for your zodiac sign as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.